What if baseball was about to say goodbye to the last great pure hitter of the modern era? What if, between one base hit and the next, even in silence, one of the day's greatest players was already building, step by step, the script for his own farewell? Freddie Freeman is not the kind of star who makes noise. He doesn't need to. He speaks with the bat. He makes his mark with clean contact, with surgical consistency, with that natural ease that seems to defy the laws of physics and pressure. While others get lost chasing force hits or inflating stats with home runs, Freeman follows the tougher path, that of pure technique. And now, after conquering everything, after writing eternal chapters in the Dodgers uniform, he finally gave us a clue of what's to come. A subtle clue, but a powerful one. In a recent interview with journalist Bill Plunkett from the Orange County Register, Freddie didn't just talk about his pursuit of the historic 3,000 hit mark. He laid out a plan, a timeline, and maybe, unintentionally, he pulled back the curtain on the end of an era. As of May 21st, 2025, Freeman had reached an impressive 2,319 career hits. That makes him, by far, the active player with the most hits in the league. But the number itself wasn't what caught everyone's attention. It was what he said next. Calmly, almost as if solving a simple math problem. "I have 2 more years left on my contract after 2025, he explained. "Then I'd like to play 2 more years. I'll turn 40 in September of 2029. So, including this year, if I get 150 hits despite still playing at a high level, just an average, represents a short-term 3,000. There it was, a 5-year plan, requiring an elite-level consistency that would take him to the legendary 3,000 hit mark. And after that, silence. No promises, no declaration about playing beyond that. Just the awareness that the clock is already ticking. If you're a Dodgers fan, an MLB fan, or simply someone who appreciates the quiet greatness of the true masters of the game, now's the time to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Because these are the kinds of moments that define generations, that mark a franchise. And the countdown has already begun. Freeman isn't just a star. He's a survivor of an increasingly rare lineage. In a sport that now glorifies power, explosion, and home runs, he represents something else. Intelligence at the plate. Discipline, the art of contact. He sprays the ball all over the field, reads pitchers like open books, and builds massive numbers without any showmanship. That durability, by the way, is a fundamental part of what makes him special. He hardly ever gets injured, plays almost every day, even when he's not at 100%, and he plays well. That's been one of the pillars of his success, and a key factor in why the plan to reach 3,000 hits is actually plausible. But there's another detail that makes this story even more powerful: the place. Freeman grew up in Southern California, in Orange County. Now he plays at home, literally. His family frequently watches games at the stadium. He drives to the ballpark along the same roads he used as a kid. Los Angeles embraced him, and he responded in kind. In 2024, he immortalized himself by hitting the game-winning grand slam in Game 1 of the World Series. Then, he was crowned the series MVP. A modern fairy tale with a perfect ending. Or better yet, an almost ending. Because now, with the clock ticking on the final 5 chapters of this story, the question begins to linger. Will he make it? Keeping up an average of 150 hits per year, even for someone like Freeman, isn't simple. It demands health, consistency, focus. It also demands a bit of luck. An unexpected injury could derail everything. A slump, a lineup change, and time never stops. Freeman knows that. That's why he was clear. "Father Time, you never know when that's going to happen. I'm trying to avoid it as long as I can." That sentence carries more than just caution. It carries humility, the awareness that no matter how dominant he's been, he's also human, also subject to life's turns. But the truth is, if anyone can do it, it's Freddie Freeman. And maybe that's why this journey to 3,000 hits has become something greater, a personal mission, a legacy in the making, a milestone that could forever cement his place in the most exclusive club in MLB history. And it's nearly impossible to imagine that happening in another uniform. "It's pretty much a lock I'll finish my career as a Dodger," he said. And indeed, it wouldn't make sense any other way. He already belongs to the franchise's history. He is the bridge between past and present, between yesterday's legends and today's hopefuls. Now I want to hear from you. Will Freddie Freeman get there? Will he keep that average all the way to age 40 and reach 3,000 hits? Or will time cut the journey short before the finish line? Leave a comment below. I want to know what you think. What makes a man defy time? When Freddie Freeman talks about the future, he's not just talking about base hits. He's talking about legacy, about the rare obsession of etching his name among the immortals. Because in baseball, there's no milestone more symbolic than 3,000 hits. And Freeman, with 2,319 as of May 21st, is closer than ever. But what truly impresses isn't the number. It's the way he's doing it. He doesn't force it. He doesn't rely on brute strength. It's as if every hit is a natural extension of his body. The elegant swing, the perfect timing, the absolute control of the bat. All that makes Freddie what the old-timers used to call a pure hitter, a contact artist, a bat poet. "I have 2 more years on my contract after 2025, he told the Orange County Register. "Then I'd like to play 2 more. For more seasons. If he averages 150 hits per year, a completely realistic mark for someone as consistent as him, Freeman would reach the 3,000 hit milestone in 2029 at 40 years old. But this isn't just about numbers. It's about where he wants to do it. And on that point, he was clear Los Angeles is home. Dodger Stadium is the stage. Orange County is where his family watches every game, where his roots have grown deep. From the game-winning Grand Slam in Game 1 of the 2024 World Series to the MVP award of that series, Freeman has become more than a star. He's become a symbol of the Dodgers' new era. But while Freeman's future stretches over the horizon, the Dodgers are consumed by an impatient present. The 2024 title reignited a hunger, despite still playing at a high level. 2020 represents a short-term. With Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, and Freddie leading a constellation of talent, Los Angeles doesn't just want to compete. It wants to dominate. President of Baseball Operations Andrew Friedman is the architect of that ambition. For years, he was a voice of caution, the protector of prospects. But times have changed. What used to be prudence has become strategy. Now, every championship window is treated as sacred. Friedman has learned that dynasties aren't built solely on stars. They're built in the details, in roster tweaks, in the players who quietly step up and win a game in October. Because the playoffs aren't a marathon, they're a series of surgeries. And to win, you need the right tools. That's why, while Freeman chases an eternal milestone, the Dodgers are after something more immediate: depth, flexibility, tactical weapons. And that's how a new name began to gain traction in Los Angeles: Isiah Kiner-Falefa. He's not a slugger, not a superstar, but maybe he's exactly what's missing. Currently with the Pirates, Kiner-Falefa is on a team with little upside and an expiring contract. And to Friedman, that spells pure opportunity. Dodgers Nation is already picking up on the idea. Respected team insider Jason Frey said, "It's the perfect fit for what the Dodgers are trying to do." And the numbers explain why. In 35 games, Kiner-Falefa is slashing .277 /.328 /.345. 1 home run, 8 RBIs, and a WAR of 0.3. Nothing spectacular, but enough to show he's reliable. More importantly, he's versatile. He can play any infield position, cover the outfield, give starters a breather, and still deliver elite defense. He's a former Gold Glove winner, and his WRC plus of 88 means he quietly contributes at the plate. In today's game, where every move is about balance, Kiner-Falefa represents a valuable piece. He doesn't steal headlines, but he helps keep the roster from breaking down. He offers stability, something essential when heading into September with October on your mind. And more than that, acquiring him wouldn't cost much. A short-term contract, manageable salary, and no major hit to the farm system. In other words, a quiet upgrade, ideal for a team looking to improve without mortgaging its future. Freeman knows it, and if the Dodgers have proven anything over the years, it's that big wins often start behind the scenes, with low-key moves, with players like Kiner-Falefa who, when called upon, make the difference between advancing and being eliminated. Picture October arriving, an injury, a rest day for Freeman, a tight game at Wrigley Field, and there's Kiner-Falefa, defending flawlessly at third base, delivering the right hit at the right moment, changing the outcome with a play that won't make the highlight reel, but might save a season. That's the mindset that builds dynasties, not just talent, preparation, depth, the ability to anticipate the unpredictable. And in that sense, Freeman is playing chess while others are still playing checkers. Freeman may reach 3,000 hits in a Dodgers uniform. He may be celebrated at home, cheered by generations, and immortalized as one of the greats. But if it happens, it will be because the team around him supported the journey. And maybe, just maybe, a player like Kiner-Falefa helped pave that road. Now I want to hear from you. If you were Andrew Friedman, would you make that trade? Would you bring in a lower profile but essential player to reinforce an already powerful team? Or would you trust that the current roster has enough gas left for one more title run? Drop your opinion in the comments. What if an entire season came down to a single pitch? What if the fate of a dynasty rested in the hands of a reliever who hasn't even arrived yet, but might just be the missing piece? In Los Angeles, that question is rhetorical. It's an obsession. Even with Shohei Ohtani making headlines and Freddie Freeman acting as a metronome at the plate, the Dodgers are grappling with a dilemma that goes beyond the numbers. Winning in the regular season isn't enough. Having the best roster isn't enough. They need to be perfect in October. The Dodgers front office has already learned what many teams still discover through pain. Talent carries you to the playoffs. But in the playoffs, what defines a season is poise. The ability to make the right decision under pressure. And above all, a reliable bullpen. That's exactly what has been missing in recent years. In 2022, after a historic 111-win season, came the collapse against the Padres. In 2023, another elite campaign and another early exit. And in both cases, a troubling pattern. Instability on the mound when it mattered most. That's why, even with one of the best records in the National League right now, 31 wins, 19 losses, leading the NL West, Andrew Friedman is not satisfied. He's seen this movie before, and he knows how it ends. That's why the front office isn't just watching box scores. They're watching the calendar. More specifically, the trade deadline. And that's where a name enters the picture. One that may seem unlikely at first, but makes perfect sense. Ryan Helsley. He's not just a good reliever. He's the reigning National League despite still playing at a high level. A dominant represents a short-term explosive arsenal and a reputation for ice-cold poise in critical moments. In 2023, Helsley broke the Cardinals' franchise record with 49 successful saves, a number that speaks for itself. But it's his command, his zone control, and his fastball that truly stand out. Helsley is the kind of player who steps onto the mound in the ninth inning and changes the energy of the entire stadium. And now, with his contract nearing its end, the St. Louis Cardinals face a strategic dilemma. Hold on to him through the season and risk losing him for nothing, or trade him while his value is at its peak. For Garrett Kerman of Clutch Points, the answer is clear. He wrote that given the high demand for elite pitchers and Helsley's pedigree, the Cardinals should be targeting a partner with a true sense of bullpen urgency and the assets to pay up. In that context, the Dodgers are the perfect fit. A title-hungry contender with one of the deepest farm systems in the league. And if you're just tuning in, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Here, we dive deep into the MLB's backstage drama. No fluff, no clickbait. Just fact, analysis, and the stories behind the headlines. Join the community, because this trade window is about to heat up. The picture is clear. The Dodgers are willing to pay, and the price isn't cheap. The rumored package would include 3 names. Nick Frasso, a promising pitcher with consistent numbers in the minors and on the cusp of joining the main rotation. Josue de Paula, a 19-year-old Dominican outfielder already impressing scouts with his strike zone discipline and maturity at the plate. And Michael Grove, who, despite some ups and downs, has MLB experience and could take on an immediate role with the Cardinals. It's an aggressive offer, but it makes sense, because Helsley wouldn't just be a reinforcement. He'd be the final shield, the safety net that turns a 1-run lead into a guaranteed win. The Dodgers, who have already bolstered other areas with names like Kiner-Falefa, see Helsley as the final brick in the wall, a surgical move, designed not just for October, but for the close games that define entire seasons. Behind the scenes, talks are already circulating. Internal sources indicate that the Dodgers are active in the market and view bullpen reinforcement as a top priority. Despite solid performances from arms like Daniel Hudson and Evan Phillips, the absence of a reliable closer, that one name who erases all doubt in the 9th inning, still hangs over the team. Helsley fills that void with authority. For the Cardinals, the equation is trickier. Trading Helsley may feel like waving the white flag, but modern baseball demands pragmatism. With the team currently out of contention and weighed down by several heavy contracts, flipping an asset like Helsley for 3 young players, ready or near ready to contribute, is a midterm repositioning move. And the potential impact? For the Dodgers, Helsley's arrival shifts the emotional balance of the team. The rotation, already among the league's best, would gain even more confidence knowing the back end is secured. Roberts would have more flexibility managing the late innings. And Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, they'd all play with less pressure, because knowing the lead will hold, that changes everything. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine October arrives. Imagine Game 5 of the NLDS. Freeman rips a double. Betts drives in 2 runs. Dodgers lead 3-2. The rotation goes 7 scoreless innings. And then the bullpen collapses. We've seen this movie. And so has Freeman. That's why the urgency. And the big question looming now is, will Helsley come? The Dodgers are in a hurry. The Cardinals are cautious. But if this deal comes together in the coming weeks, the story of 2025 may gain a new protagonist. Not with swings, but with pitches. Pitches that seal wins, that define series, that write dynasties. And you? Do you think the Dodgers should pay that price for a reliever, even if he's one of the best in the world? Or should they hold on to their prospects and trust what they already have? Drop your opinion in the comments. It's part of the conversation. And don't forget to hit the bell, because the trade market is about to explode. And here, you always get the news first.